Hello everyone, welcome back to the FSGB Ltd channel. If you're a small business owner in the UK and you're absolutely done with the stress of keeping track of your accounts, taxes and receipts, you're in the right place. Today, I'm very excited to share something I've been working on, a game-changing, easy-to-use accounting template designed specifically for UK small businesses. It's like your accountant best friend, but digital, affordable and always available. With this template, tracking your expenses, managing your income, and staying compliant with HMRC becomes ridiculously simple. No more late night panics or scrambling during tax season. You'll have clarity, organisation, and best of all, peace of mind. Whether you're freelancing, running a cozy cafe, selling handmade stuff on eBay, or even hustling on Shopify, this template is tailored just for you. I've kept things very straightforward. Some of the benefits towards using this accounting template are that there is automated profit and loss statement involved. You don't have to do any work whatsoever. There is a customizable chart of accounts, very easily customizable chart of accounts. There is an automated dashboard, as you can see on the screen right now. There are chart recommendations which makes charting your account extremely simple. There is an invoice and bills tracking added into the spreadsheet, making it so easy to understand who owes you and who you owe. There is an invoice creator, account reconciliation tool, and error checkers to help you along the way. I'm going to use this video to give you a tutorial on how to use this UK accounting template. To begin, when you bring open the UK accounting template, once you've started off, you will be given this reminder to protect your master copy. Basically, even though you will have it on Etsy saved, it is always good to keep yourself a master copy separate from any other spreadsheet. So this reminder tab just gives you the hint basically just to go straight to file, save a copy, browse, and just call it as you wish. I'm just going to call mine marketing company. Once that has all saved, as the prompt asks you, it is advised you save this file and then delete this reminders tab from the workbook. Simply, once it's done loading, all you want to do is go down to this reminders tab, right click and delete. It'll ask if you want to permanently delete this from the sheet. You want to just click delete. This will move you now on to the initial setup. Before I do anything, I'm going to go into each one of these spreadsheets and I'm just going to tell you the purpose of why it is in the accounting template and why this will really help you when doing your accounts. Each one of these sheets has a purpose, and it is to make your life easier when accounting and bookkeeping. So to begin, this initial setup sheet is exactly what it says on the tin. It basically is just the setup of your business. It just gives Excel the knowledge of everything that it needs for your business: company name, address, email, phone number, your accounting periods, your tax reporting deadlines, payment deadlines, your invoice bank details, very important, any KPIs and any account KPIs. After this, we've got the navigator, which makes it a lot easier to travel around the workbook. There are many sheets within this workbook, and so it is just a lot easier to use a navigator where you can just simply click. If I wanted to go to, for instance, the dashboard, I'll just click on dashboard, takes you straight there, and then you can click on to the navigator to get back. After that, just as we went on before, is the dashboard. Now this, like the home screen, just basically tells you everything that you need to know. If you're a business owner and you have an accountant to do your work for you, or a bookkeeper, this basically just is a summary of everything they've added into the system. Just makes it a lot easier than you trying to look through and understand the numbers in the worksheet. Just makes it very simple, and it's all laid out, all automatically updates. There is no need to change anything on the sheet. In fact, I don't think you will be allowed to, as it is protected. After that, we have the total profit and loss sheet. This gives you, again, if you're the business owner, it just gives you the full breakdown of every account and whether it brought money in or if you've expensed money out. Gives you a small breakdown at the top of your main groupings. So sales minus cost of sales equals gross profit, plus other income minus allowable expenses, reportable profit, plus or minus other items, which gives you your total profit. And down here is all of the individual accounts that you have in the chart of accounts. After that, we have the error dashboard. And this basically highlights if there's any issues in your account. So you have accounts reconciliation if your numbers don't add up to your bank statements. You have the chart of accounts if there's any issues there where you've removed chart of accounts where you maybe shouldn't have, or there's any sort of discrepancy. If there's any date errors where dates are outside or anything like that, this will be brought up and you will be aware. You also have the account reconciliation tab, just like on the error dashboard. This is basically a place where you are able to add all of your bank information, bank balance information, from month 1 to the end of the month. After this, you have the full chart of accounts, which is already populated, although it gives you so much room to add anything more than you need. It also gives you bits at the bottom where you can add extra categories in if you need. But at the minute, we have quite a lot for sales, quite a lot for cost of sales, other income, tons for allowable expense. This spreadsheet really gives you leeway into being able to put what you want to tailor to your business. It makes it super easy to do that. Not only that, but if you do not like the numbers here, you can change the numbers in any way you would like. As you can see here, 1101 has changed the number. It gives you a lot of leeway to do what you'd like with it, really. Next, we have the chart recommendations tool, which will become a lot clearer later, but this basically makes it extremely easy to chart your account. Instead of going through maybe thousands of individual transactions, this will search for a keyword in your transactions and automatically categorize it to a specific account. This makes it so easy, especially if you're struggling on time to get the accounts that you need to get the transactions in and just do it straight away. This can save like hours, if not days, on trying to categorize your accounts, because doing it completely manually it's insane how much time you spend doing it. This can really save you time on categorizing any of your accounts. Next, you have the services and products list, and just like it says on the tin, it just wants your products, either your products or your services, any price before tax, and if you've got any VAT on these, it basically just can sum it up. It's for if you want to use the invoice tracker that's involved within the sheet. It basically just stores it so you can use it. It just makes it really simple. Here is a list for your vendors and customers where you can add key information such as the business contact, phone number, email, any addresses. This is also for bills and invoice trackers. Just makes it super easy when you're creating events when you're owed money, it keeps it all stored, all the information, so you don't have to keep on typing it out because it's very annoying. You don't have to do any searching for anything. You can just have it all saved here, and it's all very clean. Next, we've got the categorization tools, and as you see here, we have 3 different spreadsheets that you can use for transactions. Now, the way that this is labeled, and you can change this in any way you would like, there is a cash transactions for any obviously non-bank account transactions. This is where you can put miscellaneous things, if someone's paid you in cash for invoice or something like that. So anything that doesn't appear on any banks. And you also have bank 1 transactions and bank 2 transactions, 2 bank accounts in which you can also add to the spreadsheet, which allows you basically to categorize these. There's so much detail in this spreadsheet, which can help you, chart easier. It's designed for you to just copy and paste your bank statement in. You can just copy and paste your bank statement in and just get on charting, use the chart recommendation. There's custom notes. There's a vendor tab here, invoice numbers and bill numbers, just to make everything super easy for you to use. It's so clear and very easy. Next, we have the invoice tracker, and as it says on the tin, it basically just tracks your invoices. Anytime you want to send out an invoice, you can practically just put it in this spreadsheet, and it keeps track of you. It keeps track if you've got any payments recorded. If by any chance somehow an invoice come up on your bank statements and you put it in, it will basically recognize that it needs to be paid. It has been paid automatically without you doing anything. It will change the status to have been paid. It is really smart, this system, in just working out the things that you don't even have to think about it, because the system will just think about it and automatically update things for you. We have the bill tracker, which is very just like the invoice tracker, is just the same, just on when you owe money, and just like the invoice tracker, it will also be taken from the bank transactions. It'll just automatically update the system. After that, we have the invoice template, which uses the invoices in the invoice tracker to automatically update the information, which makes it super easy just for you to copy and paste. It's customizable. You can change your logo. You can also change whether you want the color to be red, blue, or as we're just going to leave it like green. It's just super customizable. It has the email address that you're going to want to send to. It has the address if you wanted to send it as a letter. It just makes it very clear, very easy to use. Okay, in this section, I'm going to show you exactly how you would set up your own company's accounts from you downloading this workbook straight from Etsy, how you would be able to set up your account. So, firstly, I am going to fill in the initial information. Now, in this, I'm going to act as though I am an accountant and I've just been contracted to do the accounts of Alex Morgan Marketing, which is a small startup marketing firm that just basically does from home marketing to his clients. So I'm basically just going to go through everything on how you would set it up and any sort of things to watch out for when you're setting up and how to use it all properly, basically. So first off, I'm going to, as you would, put in the name of the company. I'm also going to put in the address. Company email. Also, it's worth noting, this is a completely fictional company. I don't intend to accidentally use anyone's real information or anything like that. It's all designed to be completely fictional. So apologies if there is any discrepancies. Next, we move on to the accounting timeline. So the accounting period. So you want to do the period from, and I'm going to put the 6th, 4th, 2024. And as you can see, there is a little error box down here, and I'm going to do it to 5th of the 4th, 2025. I would like to note as well that this template can only fit up to 1 year. So I would only do 1 year the accounting period from. For instance, if I go any higher than that, it's going to give me a warning saying accounts must not be greater than 1 year. This is just because the amount of data that goes into this, it wouldn't be able to handle more than a few years. So it's best to just keep it to 1 year and just reset after every year. This is another reason why I had the reminder thing at the start, just to so you can keep a master copy, and just whenever you need to update it, you can just make a new one. Next, we want the tax reporting deadline. So you can find this on the link right next to it. It's just a gov.uk self-assessment tax return deadlines. This will give you all the information that you need to know on when you will owe any tax, what the reporting deadline is, and what the payment deadline is. Next, we've got the invoice bank details. So I'm just going to put the information on which the owner wants to get paid on. This will all update the invoice. One. 204. Next, we have the KPIs, and this is where the target that we want for each individual part. So we want the revenue, gross profit, taxable profit, total net profit. We just want to kind of set goals on what we want to hit. It can just be good as you're going out through the year to see how far away you are from these goals. And not only that, but we can do goals for specific accounts. So out of the revenue, we might want to see that we get the majority of our profit from the general sales. It's also important to note that on column N here, you want to put whether it's an income or an expense. Just lets the system know which way to go. If for instance, if you have 84,000 as income, you want to get over that. But if it's 36,000 in expense, you want to go under that. So it's just important to put whether it's an income or an expense. So we want to see the printing, of course, since it's a marketing company. And we're going to put that as expense. Computer software licensed. We're going to 6,000 for that one. And expense. Obviously, you might not do this straight away. You might want to get, in control of your chart of accounts. I'm just doing it straight away just because I want to show you each part at a time, if you get what I mean. I want to show you the sheet and then not have to go back on it. But of course, you're welcome at any point to update or change these to how you see fit. It would kind of, without seeing your chart of accounts first, it'd probably be a bit pointless to do this, as you're not really sure what chart of accounts you want yet. So for this last one, I do have to put a KPI, but I want to show you the chart of accounts first, actually. So I do have to go back to that. Next, we'll go to the chart of accounts, actually. And I just wanted to add one thing. So on here, there is no online advertising. So if you want to add one, you can just go down to, allowable expense. That's what's going to be under. And I want to make one called online advertising. And you can see here it's made an account, but as you also noticed, there is a pop-up here that comes up and it tells you that these chart of accounts are not yet saved. So the reasoning behind this is because this workbook uses pivot tables for the chart of accounts, and if you have if you have knowledge on Excel, you kind of know that pivot tables are a pain because they need to be manually updated. So all this is telling you to do is go to data up here and click this button here just above the refresh all. And as soon as you do that, the info tab will go off. This means the pivot table has updated and this new line is within the system. One thing I also want to tell you about this is if there is something in the categorization. So you can ignore what I'm doing for a second, but I'm going to put general sales and I will just put 1. I'm going to delete this straight after, so really don't pay attention to what I am doing. But if I go to the chart of accounts now and go to the top, you will see a little yellow marker here in the exclamation sign. Now this means that there has been an input into the categorization tool using this account, which means you have to be very wary now what you do when you change this account. If you change any bit of the name, it is going to make this the submission you have in your categorization invalid. So my recommendation would be if you see a yellow marker, don't change that account. Just leave that account as it is and there'll be no issues. Obviously, there's error checkers to check if there's anything like that has happened. That's one of the reasons that the error checkers are there. But all I'm saying is just ignore this. There'll be no need to change it really. You have other sales things to put in. It's probably best just left. And I'm going to delete exactly what I have just done there. So now that we have that added in, I can go back to the initial setup tab that I was on before. And remember, you can go around the navigator for these, so you can just go on the navigator and if you want. Unfortunately, the initial setup's not there, but usually you can just jump up and down with the navigator. And I now want to put online advertising as I just did before. I'm just going to type it in. Online advertising, and I can place how much I want that to be for, and I want that 2,500 as an expense. Next, I'm going to go and categorize my accounts. So I'm going to go to the Bank One transactions because I'm going to use a bank statement for this. And the first thing I'm going to do is just put which bank it is, Barclays Business Bank account. As you can see that comes up, it just means the names have worked completely fine. And we want to get our bank statement up. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy all the way down on the date to start off, right click, copy, right click, paste into there. Next, I want to do the same for the references. So I'm just going to highlight all these down right to the bottom, copy, and paste. And then finally, I'm going to do the total cash. Now, it's important to note that there is an option up here, which you might have seen, with 1 column and 2 column. As you can see on my statements, there is just a total amount here with minuses involved in it. So I just want to have 1 column for the minute. So I'm just going to leave that on as 1 column. I will copy that and right click and paste that in. Now, You can see a bunch of errors have just come up, but there's nothing to worry about. This is normal. It is basically just saying there is either no date or no chart of account. Basically saying you need to fill in this chart of account. As you can see, that's just highlighted orange to let you know that this is empty and requires filling. But before I do that, actually, no, while this comes up, actually, I'll just show you that you can go in on anything you want and chart it to the correct account. So yeah, I'll do that for the first two. So for Zoom, I can put that it is a software license that I'm paying. And as you can see, once you've typed that in, goes blue, the error leaves, and it's all fine. There's nothing else to worry about. Regal printing, I can do the same. I can just go software, and then that's all fine. Next, I'm going to show you the benefits of using this chart recommendation tool, which will save you so many hours on charting. Like down here, I have 152. A chart is probably going to take me half an hour to chart all of these, find the right ones, but I am going to simplify the process dramatically. So if I go over here to chart recommendations, or I'll go to the navigator and I'll go to chart accounts, no, chart recommendations. You can see different from before. There is now a bunch of things added, a bunch of references, and a bunch of numbers beside. The numbers beside basically say how many times this appears in the references of your bank statement. So we've got things like client meeting dinner, client meeting lunch, MailChimp, LinkedIn ads, all of that. And as you can see, they're not all quite the same. So LinkedIn ads is a bit different to LinkedIn advertising, which may make you think you can't really have a chart categorization because there's really subtle things between them. But not to worry, because this spreadsheet is quite smart, and is in it can look for specific words in your references. So I can go in and see that Starling bank transfer is here. And I can see that that is, it's got 4 things on. And we've got another 6 down here and 6 down here. So it brings up quite a lot. So I want to find something that would get all of these 3 and just put them into one category. So I'm going to just simply put Starling. And then where would I categorize that to? I want that to be a bank transfer because that is going to my other bank. So I'm just going to put other items, bank account. As you can see, there's a tick there to signal it has went through all fine. Now, if we go to Navigator and to Bank One transactions here, go back to where we started, you can see now all of these which have transfer from Starling Bank or incoming funds Starling Bank, they're all coming up as bank account now, which makes it very easy for you to see exactly where you want it to go. You don't have to do it for each one. And as you can see, you can simply just scroll down and copy and paste these into the chart account. So you don't even really have to worry about individually doing each one. You can just simply 2 seconds, scroll all the way down, copy and paste into the chart account, which I'm not going to do yet, but it's just so simple. If I go back to Navigator and then to chart recommendations, I can start filling out the other ones. And I'm going to speed up this process just as to not waste your time. So as you can see, I have now put all of the keywords that I want and exactly where I want them to go to. If I was to go to the Navigator and go to Bank One transactions, you can see this is all now filled out completely fine. So simply, you can either like I said before, you can now see that this is there and start typing in online advertising to take you across, or simply you could just highlight all of these if you trust that is correct, and I do on this occasion, and simply paste. Now this takes away all of the errors that are there and only leaves the ones that are still left to do, which I can individually chart on each one, which I am going to quickly go through and probably speed this up as well. Right, these have now all been completely done and up to date. I will now go on to the next bank account, which will be a lot smaller because this is just our income bank account that we had for invoices. So if I go into bank 2 transactions, we go along to the side. I will once again, actually, wait, I'll show you by going to the navigator, bank 2 transactions. Now we can type in Starling bank account. That is our bank account. But for this time, if you can see on my bank statements, you can see we have debits and credits. So instead of just having one column, we're going to change this to 2 columns. You can see here is cash in, which is going to be our debit, and cash out, which is going to be our credits. So I will do the same again. I will just go all the way down with these. Oh, I'll make sure to get all of them. And copy and paste this into here. And then next with the reference tab, and copy and paste this into here. Next is our debit column. So we just copy with this and paste into here. And finally, we have our credit column. But we just want to copy this and paste into here. So again, you can see all of the errors have come up again, just waiting for a chart of accounts. But if we go back to the chart recommendations, we can have a look at these and we can see that Alex Morgan marketing has 22. We're just going to change other one saying Alex Morgan marketing, and if any show that keyword, please change to the bank account, as it's just a transfer, as was the Starling. So if I go to navigator and bank 2 transactions, you can see all of the chart recommendations there. I'm just going to simply copy this, go to the top and paste that like that. Give it a second to register. And there we can see it's all back to normal. The rest are just from sales. So all I want to do is just general sales, and I'm just going to copy those down. Obviously, this is just because of the simplicity of the thing. So I'm just going to really quickly. And that should be completely it in terms of the profit and loss statement. So if I was to go to the navigator and to the total profit and loss, wow, it's completely updated all automatically. There's not a single thing you've had to do to this report. And as you can see, it's just completely filled in. All of the numbers should be completely right. You can see the sales up here. If you want, you've got it by month, by quarter, and by year. So if I just wanted to check yearly, I would simply just go like this, and we can see the sales, cost of sales, which isn't too much, obviously, since it's a marketing business. No other income. We've got £13,000 in allowable expenses, which means we get taxed on 79,000, and we have no other items to be aware of. We could do it by quarterly. You can see in the first quarter made 12,990 in sales, and the total profit is 9,442. Or we can check in the third quarter where we made 18,000 sales, 18,800 gross profit, and 14,967 in total profit. Just super easy for you to use and see. You could even go by month. You can see here from October to November, 7,000 in sales, and we ended up with 6,100 in total profit. It's just designed to be extremely easy for you as a business owner to be able to go in and just see the trend. You can even now go to the dashboard if you'd wish. You can see which accounts bring in the total income right here. So we only have one account at the minute, and that is our general sales, and that's brought in 92. We can see our top expenses, our top spenders, which looks to be computer software, online advertising, printing, client meals, internet and home office expense. You can also see here is our sales and our taxable profit. This can be changed just by changing this if you wanted to change that to the net profit. So you can see here as it's going up, the top one is the sales, and you can see the difference in between. Not too much of a difference in this case. Obviously, if your business varies a lot and it has good periods and bad periods, it can go wild, but this one's pretty simple, not too complicated. You can see all of your KPIs here, and if you've hit them, at the minute we've hit all of them. We've done really well. Every single one of these we've managed to hit, which is brilliant. We can see our invoices are paid to date and bills are paid to date, but we haven't inputted them. I will show you these in a second. We haven't got all of our errors sorted, and we haven't got our account reconciliation completed yet. This could be a bit of a problem if anything goes wrong, but I will talk you through how to do the account reconciliation. It's very important that you do this in accounts to ensure that the information displayed on your Excel sheet is correct. First off, what I am going to do is actually, yes, I will do the account reconciliation. So here you can go to each account. This is the cash account at the top, Barclays bank account, and Starling bank account there. And you can see that our Excel tab has highlighted this much of a difference. So if I was to do 0 to 7,000, you can see, well, it should be minus 200 than that. There is a £200 difference between what you've reported and what your bank statement says. So I'm just going to very quickly update this and get it so there is no sort of error. So after that, I have put each figure in. I will increase the size a bit. I've put each figure in from the month start on the 2nd of April here to the month end on the 5th of May here. And automatically any of these in red is just automatically updated to be the same as that. And I have just put the end figures for each month consecutively after here. There is no difference. If there is a difference, even by a penny, it'll come up here telling you there is a penny difference. Same with the Starling bank account. I've done that as well. I haven't put anything in the cash account yet, so I have not touched that. This has come up saying that there is no errors. Actually, interestingly, I'll show you through some of the errors. So if I go to, for instance, where I'll go to the navigator and then to Bank One transactions. If I was to put a date, that was wrong. Oh, that wouldn't change anything. If I was to do the year, sorry, that was wrong. It'll immediately come up with a date error, highlight which one is the date, and it very stands out. Not only that, but if I go to the error dashboard here, basically says, whoa, well, one, there's a accounts reconciliation error because I've added them in already, but you can see here there is a data error, and that you can click there and go to the account where it's happened, where the issue has happened. So here, all we'd have to do is change it back to 2024, and the date error will leave. The next thing that I want to take you through is the invoice trackers and the invoice template. Now, first thing actually before you do this is you want to come up with some services and products. So I'm just going to make some random ones. Monthly fee, advertising, one off. My spelling isn't atrocious. And social media marketing. So let's say I've just got these three. Let's say like a monthly fee is £150, advertising one off £40, and social media marketing £30. Let's put them all as 20% VAT. And we want to create some customers. So I'll create 2 customers. I won't do any more than that. I'll create the first business as Wacky Windows as the first thing that comes to mind, and Jill Abe I'll put as the contact. Phone 07 111 1111 just to make up, and then Jill.Abe at wackwin.com, and then let's say 52 Made Up Lane. I'll put like Doncaster DN11J 8PL. Let's just say, and let's say the payment terms are 30 days. And let's make another one. You know what? Let's just do Will Combs, and it's Will Comb that does that. 222 2222 WC at willcomb.com, and 62 Lonely Drive in Newcastle. Let's say that's 30 days as well. And we'll also do one person in the vendor. And let's just say it is someone from Zoom. Oh, and we don't need to do the address line for this one. So now we've got them there, we can now go to the navigator and we will go to the invoice tracker. And we want to now set up an invoice. So as soon as you put anything in, such as the customer, let's say Wacky Windows was one of our customers, it automatically comes up with an invoice number, and the summary tab will automatically populate. If you want to change the invoice number, it automatically comes up with invoice numbers. But if you want to change this number, you can easily do that by, let's say, you wanted to make it that, it will change that and it will update as you go along. So if I was to put Will Combs there, it will do 10112 just to keep in line. So if we go along from here, you can see the phone, the email, the address. Let's say the date it was created was 2 months ago. And let's say the date that is due was 1 month ago. As it is 30-day payment terms. This payment terms doesn't mean anything. It just basically reminds you what the payment terms are. Let's say he used a monthly fee, 1, with 0 discount, and on top of that, he also wanted some social media marketing, 1 of those. But let's give him a discount of £10. You can see here the total has added up to the VAT minus the discount to give you the total there. You can do up to 5 of these, but no more than 5, unfortunately, just as it takes up a lot of memory on the system. Excel can struggle a bit. There's no extra discount, no shipping, and no shipping VAT. We're also going to make another one for Wilcombe. You can see here that we are past due by 31.83 days as well, just to keep you aware. If it highlights in yellow, it means that we are still due. Let's see, we've got Will Combs here, and he's a bit better at paying on time. Let's say this was created a month ago on the 9th, and let's say it is due tomorrow. And let's say he is just one-off advertising. Quantity 1. And you can see the total price is 48, which is the amount times the VAT to give you the total price. And if we come over here, we can see it is not past due. We are still have time before this. Anything you want to change, if you want to do it manually, that's completely fine. Our status at the minute is unpaid, but we can change that status to the invoice is sent. Can write it off as a bad debt. We can state that it's paid, interestingly. Once it's paid, it will completely cut it off and take it off your system. You won't be reminded of it again, really. You can have it delayed or whatever. I'm just going to have it as blank for now. I don't want any manual status as we're still due it, because Jill Abe is taking way too long. Next, what we can do is if I go to the navigator and the invoice template, you can see here that we are able to bring it up. The complete invoice, able to send just straight away. You can see the addresses here, 52 Made Up Lane, Doncaster, the invoice numbers here, invoice date, the payment terms that are set out, payment date. You can see the description of what they've bought, price at which they bought it for, quantity, they've added VAT, any discounts taken off, the pre-tax value. You can see shipping discounts, subtotal before VAT, the VAT and the total price, and all the bank payment details are here as well as another big reminder to tell you that it is due on this date, as well as another little thank you for your business. We've got the email too here, so you could just literally copy and paste this and send it straight to Jill, or you can send it as post to this address here. You can change your logo, as I was saying before, it's fully customizable. Change it to blue or red or whatever best to keep it to green at the minute just to follow this little your logo here. And what I would do personally is, if I wanted to use this invoice, is I would just copy and I would open up either a Word or a publisher, Control Alt and V, and paste it as a picture. And you would simply just drag it in such as this, and you can send it as is to the email address as an invoice. If you wanted to change it from that invoice to this invoice, completely easy, just change the invoice number, and then we can see it now goes to Will Combs and it is due on this date. If you go back to the dashboard now, you can see any top layer invoices come up here, and I'll quickly do a bill as well. Which is just as simple as doing a invoice. You can just put the vendor in, which is Zoom. Let's say it's due in a month's time. On the 8th of May, and let's say we are just due to pay £100, won't put any VAT. You can see here it is there, days until payment 29 already. Or if we put it as in March, we can see we are actually behind here. One extra additional thing that I would like to say is that we can also automatically pay the invoice. Let's say if the invoice has come through on our transactions on a bank statement, let's say, how much was it for again? If I go to the invoice tracker. So let's say this £204 right here for the first invoice. Let's say that was paid to us in cash. Invoice payment. And let's say we want to chart this to general sales. Now that should all update. We can now come over here to this section at the end, and if you see, there should be a drop down box here for invoice numbers, and we can put our invoice number in, and this will basically update here to automatically say it is completely paid. To finish off this video now, I have shown you why this would be an extremely good accounting software for you to use if you're a startup or small business. I've shown you the tutorial of how to use this Excel document to fully make your accounts automated, especially if you can't afford things such as like QuickBooks or Xero. It's just a very clear and efficient system. If for example, you're not able to even pay for this system, which I think should be very reasonably priced, please just email me at, I will type it in to here. Please just email me at luke.dees@fsgb.com right here, and I will be completely happy to send you the document for free. But if not, this will be put on Etsy. The link should be in the description. Thank you so much for watching the whole of this video, and I hope you are able to succeed on your accounting journey and your small business journey. Thank you very much for watching.